A Reddit user thought he was being watched, maybe even stalked. But what started as a creepy mystery turned out to be something far more dangerous and surprisingly invisible. The user posting under the name R. Bradbury 1920 on the subreddit Legal Advice said he found a yellow post-it note on his desk. The handwriting wasn't his, and it reminded him of errands he never told anyone about. A few days later, a second note showed up, warning him to save his documents. Concerned someone had broken in, he set up a webcam facing his desk. But things only got stranger. On April 28th, a third note appeared. Our landlord isn't letting me talk to you, but it's important we do. When he checked the camera footage, it was gone. Not only deleted, but the recycle bin had also been emptied. On May 1st, another blank post-it note appeared on his front door, and dozens more were found on the other doors in the building. The user feared a break-in or a cover-up. He even wondered if the landlord was somehow involved, but he had no solid proof, just note written in what looked like his own handwriting, using his own pen. Desperate, he turned to Reddit for help. Reddit commenters debated possible break-ins, landlord interference, or mental health issues. But one commenter, Kakarlak, offered a pivotal observation. The account mentioned sleeping in a narrow, windowless bedroom, raising a serious possibility of chronic carbon monoxide exposure. The commenter explained carbon monoxide poisoning can cause memory loss, confusion, headaches, and even dissociation, sometimes leading to doing things and forgetting them entirely. He urged the poster to test for carbon monoxide immediately. Within 9 hours, the original poster responded. He had a carbon monoxide detector which he had never plugged in. Once activated, it measured 100 parts per million of carbon monoxide in his bedroom, well above the threshold where neurological symptoms begin. In a follow-up update, he wrote, I had carbon monoxide poisoning and thought my landlord was stalking me. He confirmed he was indeed the one writing the note and simply didn't remember doing so. In an update shared about 10 months later, the Redditor reported significant recovery. While brain cells can't regenerate, his main issue was cerebral edema or brain swelling, which is often reversible over time. He stated he had reached around 80% recovery and anticipated full recovery within months. He also noted legal proceedings were ongoing but looking promising. Meanwhile, he shifted to using a notebook planner and abandoned post-its altogether. Thanks to a single comment on Reddit, a life-threatening poisoning was discovered and possibly averted. This case serves as a chilling reminder. Sometimes the greatest menace is the one you never see. A hazy highway scene. A van lies wrecked. Two young men perish. One is identified. The other remains nameless for 20 years. On June 26, 1995, a Volkswagen Venagon driven by 21-year-old Michael Hager crashed into trees on US Route 58 near Emporia, Virginia. Hager was identified at the scene. His passenger, a young man in his late teens with no ID, could not be recognized. He would simply become known as Grateful Doe. Physically, the man had a homemade star tattoo on his left arm, brown or dark blonde hair dyed red, and wore a Grateful Dead t-shirt, Levi jeans, and Fila sneakers. No photo was released, only a facial reconstruction. In his pocket, two scalped Grateful Dead tickets to show at RFK Stadium in June 1994 and 1995, a yellow big lighter, some quarters, and a handwritten note reading, To Jason, sorry we had to go. Call me, Caroline T. and Carolino. Bye. Despite these clues, his identity remained a mystery for more than 2 decades. In 2012, the subreddit Grateful Doe was burned, a dedicated digital hub for cold case reconstruction and crowd collaboration. In early 2015, the subreddit's moderator, Grey Metal, now Zombie Grey, posted a reconstruction of Grateful Doe to Imgur titled, Do You Recognize Me? I have been without my name for nearly 20 years. That post spread rapidly across Reddit and other platforms. Within days, a Redditor named Steve reached out, believing the person depicted was his former roommate, a young man named Jason Callahan, who had vanished in 1995 from Myrtle Beach. The resemblance was uncanny. Steve shared personal photos and memories and contacted authorities. Soon after, on a Facebook comment, a woman wrote, "This is my son, Jason Callahan from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina." She had never filed a missing person report, uncertain where to go given Jason's nature as a traveling deadhead until this digital lead surfaced. Authorities collected DNA samples, and in December 2015, the Virginia Medical Examiner confirmed Grateful Doe was Jason Patrick Callahan, born April 1976. He was 19 years old at the time of his death. The subreddit announced, "This morning, DNA testing confirmed that the Grateful Doe is the missing man, Jason Callahan. May Jason and Michael rest in peace." The announcement triggered an outpouring of emotion. Redditors praised the effort, calling it a model for solving other cold cases through cooperative online investigation. On August 9, 2018, in Edenville, Washington, a tragic hit-and-run on State Route 7 claimed the life of 63-year-old Susan Rainwater, who was cycling along the roadside. The driver fled the scene, leaving investigators with only a mangled bicycle and a small, broken piece of plastic believed to be from the striking vehicle. Washington State Patrol Trooper John Abatis posted a photo of the car fragment on Twitter and urged the public for help identifying the vehicle involved. The image quickly landed on Reddit's "What is this thing?" subreddit, where users specialize in identifying obscure objects. Soon after, a Redditor calling himself Jeff Snuts, who stated he had worked as a Maryland State Vehicle Inspector, immediately recognized the part. "I have done a lot of headlamp adjustments. I knew what that notch in the plastic was for." Checked a mid-80s Chevy truck. He identified it as a headlamp bezel from a mid-1980s Chevrolet CK or Silverado pickup, noting the distinctive U-shaped notch used for headlight adjustment. Regular Reddit users and mechanics supported his claim, discussing model similarities and narrowing it further toward a black Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra from approximately 1986-88. Then, on August 14, 2018, Trooper Batiste tweeted an update. WSP detectives made an arrest today for Thursday's fatal bicyclist hit-and-run in Edenville. Reddit users identify a photographed broken car part as a mid-1980s Chevy truck headlight assembly. Local anonymous tip confirmed and led to the arrest of a driver of 1986 Chevy K10. Authorities arrested 37-year-old Jeremy Simon of Roy, Washington, who admitted driving the 1986 Chevy K10 pickup involved in the crash. Simon told police he had fallen asleep at the wheel, drifted, and believed he hit a mailbox. When he saw the crushed bicycle, he panicked and fled. At the time of his arrest, he was also found in possession of heroin. After the fatal hit-and-run that killed cyclist Susan Rainwater, Jeremy Simon was arrested and charged with vehicular homicide, hit-and-run, and drug possession. He initially pleaded not guilty, but later accepted a plea deal under Washington's Drug Offender Sentencing Alternative Program. Simon was sentenced to 53.5 months, approximately 4.5 years, serving half in prison and half under community supervision with mandatory drug treatment. The case was resolved in early 2019, and officials credited Reddit users, especially Jeff Snuts, for helping identify the suspect's vehicle and aiding in the swift arrest.